Good morning, good morning, good morning, dear hearts. This is Positive Love Heals coming to you from Tampa, Florida by Gail D. Jones. And I am back. We are here and we're going to talk about Birthrights Part 2. And I'm going to share more with you about love letters and tap on some integrity. Some things that I've witnessed, some things that I've learned from some key people that I've been very blessed to be around. And I'm thankful, I'm grateful for those experiences. Now, that being said, let me start off with saying this, that years ago, I read this book called A Key Person of Influence by, I believe the name was, let me state the name correctly here. The name is Daniel Priestley. Daniel Priestley. I remember reading this book here, and it stood out to me all these years because in reading the book, it talked about every skill set, every job, no matter what it was, that was preparing you for your purpose. I believe in the book it more said preparing you for your niche or your micro niche, right? But for me, I interpret it as it was preparing me for my purpose, my birthrights, right? So the jobs that I had of cleaning restrooms when I was younger, honestly, the jobs that I had of serving my supervisor's coffee, all the jobs, every experience, even from being in school and me not understanding who I was, me not understanding, seeing that I was smart enough and I was bright enough to really achieve, me having to learn how to love myself, me having to learn how to appreciate myself. All these things were developing the goodness and the greatness within me so that I can one day believe in myself and know and understand that I have what it takes, 2 toes at a time, don't trip, to make things happen, to fulfill my purpose, by walking in my purpose, by believing and understanding and knowing that all things works together for my good, Jeremiah 29:11 in the Amplified. So that being said, when I was thinking about birthrights and love letters and integrity, I reflected on Dr. Stephenson, Dr. Gwendolyn W. Stephenson, and she has passed on now. But let me tell you, what a powerhouse. And I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful for the time that I spent with her, for the conversations over the phone and for the emails. I'm thankful. Dr. Stephenson, first of all, let me start here. I was awarded her scholarship by way of Mrs. Cox, Frances Cox, encouraging me to complete the application. And in my speech, Never Give Up, I mentioned how I did not think that I would be awarded this scholarship. I really just completed the application because Ms. Cox took out so much time giving me information, and then she saw me write down all those notes step by step. I'm like, how can I go to my advisor and ask for any advice moving forward if I don't complete this one major task that she has given me? Again, I just said, I'm just going to do it because she wants me to do it, whatever. Then I can get this on out the way. When I was chosen as one of the recipients for this presidential scholarship, I was by far speechless and blown away. Because again, I'm still discovering who I am. I remember when I RSVP'd and I was notified that I was the only recipient that was able to attend the lunch-in with Dr. Stephenson, and I was nervous. Let me tell you, I know, bona fide guaranteed, I did not sleep that night at all the night before. I remember getting there a little early because you don't want to be late for such a meeting like that. And you're already nervous, and I couldn't eat, period. Okay, so I was tired, couldn't eat, and nervous, and whatever, right? I remember standing in the lobby waiting for her, and looking in and says, man, this is like really like nice. You know, you couldn't take your phones in. They give you all these specific instructions. Okay, great. Cool. All right, fine. When she arrived and we walked through and she was showing me all the different items, the eatery, how everything was set up. And when I made it back to my seat, I had a few things. I can't remember what it was. I could not eat. I was like scared to eat, couldn't eat, nervous. All these thoughts was running through my head. And I'll never forget something that she told me. She's mentioned several things, but she's very calm and a very peaceful person. We were sitting at that table. And I remember her saying, you're a very poised young lady. She just said it out of the blue. Now, I didn't realize what poised mean at that time. That was just one word that I wasn't accustomed to hearing. But I looked it up as soon as I got to the car. However, before I got to the car, it was just a tone of her voice. I knew that she recognized something in me that I had not yet recognized in myself. So when I got to the car, I quickly looked it up and I realized what poise mean. And I was like, oh, wow. Dr. Stephenson said that about me. Not only that, when I was preparing my Never Give Up speech, Dr. Stephenson just did not just say, you know, because some people was so used to people of prestige that once you give them what you have to give, your gift or whatever it is, they're done with you. That's it. No, not Dr. Stephenson. Let me tell you, even when I was preparing for my speech, Dr. Stephenson, she appointed one of her good friends, Missy Lane. Thank you so much, Missy Lane. She appointed one of her good friends to help coach me on my writing and coach me on my speaking skills so that I can be the best that I was designed to be as I represented over 35,000 students as a student representative during ACC's annual biggest fundraiser. And again, this was several years ago. I'll never forget, even at the day of the event, how Dr. Stephenson ensured and made sure that I was okay, that I was comfortable, that I was not alone. I remember the tips and the guidance before and afterwards. I remember when speaking, Dr. Stephenson was right there. And I could feel like her energy, and I knew I was safe. I knew I was okay. I remember just the conversations over the phones, the times in which we did speak, and in the emails. And I remember participating at the next annual event, not speaking, but I wanted to give, and I wanted to be close, and I wanted to make a difference because I appreciated so much of what she had done for me just by taking out the time to mentor me. And there was just such a great appreciation for her excellence. She embodied excellence. She embodied making a difference. And I asked her, I says, how, and I'll share this with you today. And I asked her, I says, Dr. Stephenson, I said, how did you become so successful? Like, how did you make all these things happen? And she told me 3 things. She says, you need a good CPA, you need a good financial advisor, and you need a good attorney. And I shared that with you because that's something that she shared with me. And I've kept that to myself for so long. And I'm realizing that it was my birthright to be rewarded that scholarship, because it was my birthright to meet Dr. Stephenson, and it was my birthright to meet her in the time in which I met her and to spend the time that I spent with her. That was part of my birthright. And I appreciate that, and I'm thankful for that. And because of that, because of even those tips that she shared with me several years ago, For you, I share that with you even now because she was a giver. She was a giver and she believed in excellence. So I acknowledge Dr. Stephenson on my love letters along with my family and my parents. Just to start off with that, I had to acknowledge her because I always promised myself, even after hearing about her passing, and I was looking forward to meeting with her soon, having lunch soon with her. But I always wanted to acknowledge the presence and the difference in that mentorship, the time we had. And I used to say, man, that was short-lived, but I'm realizing it was right on time. It was on time with how it was designed for me to spend with Dr. Stephenson. Now, integrity. When I speak about integrity, I'm also talking about the love letters and integrity of celebrating your wins and celebrating others' wins. Why I say that? I don't know what Dr. Stephenson had to experience. I don't know what you and other great people has had to experience in order to get you where you are today. I don't know that. But what I do know is that there is power and there is strength in me celebrating you for your wins. And there is power and strength in me celebrating myself for my wins. There is power and strength when we celebrate each other. It is your birthright to celebrate yourself and count it not lack of, to understand that it is also your birthright to celebrate others, to celebrate others' wins. Why? Again, I can't walk in someone else's shoes, everyone else's shoes. I can only walk in Gail D. Jones' shoes. I can't walk in no one else's shoes. My whatever it is in me may not be equipped to be able to climb that mountain and to be able to achieve those tasks. And that's just the reality of it. So when you're talking about birthrights, and when you're talking about your love letters, and when you're talking about discovering your birthrights, when you're talking about being the best person that you can be, that also involves you celebrating others. Do you have the strength? Do you have the love? Do you have the care that it takes to be able to celebrate your brothers and your sisters? Do you? That's the question. Or when you see that they achieve something, or when you see that they get a brand new car and you're still riding your older car, or when you see that they're blessed with their house and you're still trying to figure out how to fix your credit, right? You know, like when you see that that their business is now that they're now full-time entrepreneurship. They no longer have to work on a 9-to-5, right? And they're able to make all these moves and travel all over the world. And you're still trying to figure out how you're just going to buy a ticket just to get from one state to the next state. If you're not at the point, and no, let me just say it like this, until you get to that point to where you can truly celebrate others for their win, regardless of what your situation may or may not look like, you are still yet having to discover your birthright. You have to be confident in who you are. And we're all our work in progress. We're all our learning progress. Let me tell you, even as I move forward, because of the sacrifice, we don't know the sacrifice that that person has had to make. We certainly don't know the sacrifice that their mothers or their parents in their generation, whether known or unknown, what the sacrifice was made. We don't know those sacrifices. So then I think about another person who I just mentioned a few days ago in the Tampa Bay area, Miss Chloe Coney. I don't know all the sacrifice Miss Chloe Coney had to go through. She was just nominated as a civil rights leader. I don't know all that she had to go through. But what I do know is that she made a way for several homes to be built in the Tampa Bay area for more families to own homes, low and medium income. You have to be able to celebrate other people's wins. Integrity is so important. Integrity adds value. Integrity adds value. Like, are you owning the truth of who you are? Are you rewriting people's stories just so that you can knock them off their horse, so that you can claim the top of the mountain and put a stake in it? Are you respecting yourself enough to where you're just starting to, you're learning, you're appreciating who you are, the things that you've accomplished, the things that you want to accomplish, no matter how big and no matter how small your beginning is. We have to get to a point to where in our birthrights, in our legacy, that we first begin to love ourselves, and then we begin to celebrate ourselves, and we understand the importance of celebrating others and recognizing others and being grateful and thankful. Now, I'm not saying that you have to open up your door. You just have to let all these different people in and says, oh, thank you so much, get knocked up the head. Oh, thank you so much. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is to where you have to put people in their appropriate category. If they doing right by you, guess what? Put them in that appropriate category. If they're not doing right by you, guess what? Put them in that appropriate category. We are living in a time of unlawfulness. That's what my father called me. My father called it unlawfulness, where the integrity of people just want success and they want some fame so bad where they're willing to do anything to get it. Unlawfulness. To where the protection of humanity is being removed right before our eyes. Unlawfulness. Where anything and everything is all for gains. Unlawfulness. But see, your birthright is attached to the lawfulness. Your birthright is attached to doing right by others. Your birthright is attached to understanding, as Tony Dungy stated in one of his quotes. Integrity is not about what's convenient. Integrity is about what's right. How are you making a difference in your community? How are you making a difference in your home? Choose today. Decide today, what can you do to take that next step to love yourself more? What can you do to take that next step to make a difference? What can you do? What is your birthright? What is that passion and that desire that's deep down inside, or that's right there at the surface, or that you already started to work on and started to develop? What is that passion that will help humanity heal itself? That is it. That is it. That is your point. That is your mark. Zone in on it. Embrace it. As long as my father stated, that true love will never, ever seek out to intentionally hurt you or harm you. That's true love. And I appreciate my father for all that he's taught me, my parents, and I appreciate those that has been in my life to help me and teach me and coach me and guide me and to give me tips. I even appreciate the ones that did not do right by me. You know why? Because it all works together for my good. It's somewhere in Matthew's in the Amplified Bible. And I'm thankful and I'm grateful for that. So I really hope this time that I shared with you right now has added some more nuggets and some more tools, some more hearts to your book of knowledge, to your book of wisdoms, to your book of desiring to walk into your purpose and fulfill your destiny. Listen, it's all about loving yourself the positive. It's all about achieving what's going to help make a difference with yourself and help make a difference in our world, because love is what's going to help heal our humanity, because our humanity needs healing, baby. We need healing. It's not just about this culture and that culture and that culture and this background and that race. We all need healing. And it is okay to explore your healing. It is okay to explore your birthright. And it is definitely okay, honey, to love yourself the positive and walk in integrity. Okay? All right? Because none of us all have it figured out. We're all a work in progress. But you can make it happen. You got what it takes. This is Positive Love Heals, coming to you from Tampa, Florida by Gail D. Jones. And again, I'm just sharing a little bit about me and my experience in this journey as I continue on. So stay tuned. I'll catch you on next time. Catch me next time, and I'm going to holler at you. Peace. I am out. Mwah. Positive Love Heals. Have a great day.